Hi, I'm Sarah Bennell, and I'm the Outreach Coordinator at Heartland Conservation Alliance.
Hi, I'm Laura Steele, and I'm the Director of Education at BikeWalkKC.
Hey, are you going to get one of the bikes? Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I've never done it before.
I can show you how to do it.
Oh, that would be perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming out, and I'm really excited that we had this opportunity. I really have been wanting to ride a bike, especially this month, but I don't have one. We're new to town, and I haven't gotten around to actually buying one yet. But this is a really good opportunity for people who may not have bikes. It really makes it more accessible.
Exactly, you know, and these are here in Waldo all the way up to North Kansas City. We're expanding them to the west, and so they are in a lot of places, and that it really is the beauty that you don't have to invest in buying your own bike and maintaining it. You know, these are around the town, and you're able to pick one up, feel confident that it is ready to go, and then you can just drop it off when you're done. So it's a pretty simple system going here, and this is a perfect month to start your adventure riding in Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm so glad the weather's finally getting warm enough to do it again, too.
Exactly. So Sarah, one of the first things that we want to do to make sure that we're safe on our bike ride is to wear a helmet. So we only have one brain, and it's the best bet to just make sure that it's protected. So when you get your helmet, the first thing you want to do is kind of look over the outside of it and make sure that there's no cracks or dents. Same for the inside. You want to make sure that, again, no dents or cracks or anything like that. So my helmet, and yours as well, we have a dial right here that we can open up, or we can kind of tighten it down. And this is going to make sure that once we place the helmet on our head, we tighten it, and then the helmet won't move back and forth over our head. We're going to put the helmet straight down on top of our head, and with your eyes, you're going to look up and you're going to find the rim of the helmet. The other trick is to take 2 fingers and place them over your eyebrows so that the rim sits 2 fingers above your eyebrows. If it's too low, we can't see. If it's too far back, we're not really protecting our forehead. So the straps are going to be on either side of your ears, and the little adjustment tabs right here are going to be kind of at your earlobes, and then we're going to buckle. The next step I always do is I then tighten my helmet. So we got the Y on either side of our ears, and then we're going to take our 2 fingers and make sure that there's 2 fingers length under our chin so that we can open our mouth if we need to, but this isn't dangling unnecessarily. There you go. Thing to note, we don't want our helmet too tight, but again, we don't want it too loose. And the way to know if your helmet is tight enough is if you were to undo this strap and then turn your head upside down, shake your head, and your helmet doesn't come off, then you've tightened it right. All right, the next thing that we're gonna do to make sure that we're safe to ride is we're gonna check our bike for safety. So these bikes are maintained and operated by the Ride KC crew out of BikeWalkKC. So they constantly are coming around and making sure that the tire is full of air, that everything is in working order. Good idea to do your own check before you ride. It's super simple, super fast, so it won't take a long time. First thing we're gonna do, it's called the ABC Quick Check. And we're gonna check the air, A, in our tires. So what we do is we just lean over and we give a pinch on each tire to make sure that it's full of air. So A for air, my air is good. Next, we're gonna check our brakes. So the Ride KC bikes, they have 2 brakes, and they're up here on the top, these 2 levers. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull back on these brakes, and we're actually gonna kind of rock the bike back and forth. And you see that my wheels don't move because the brakes are engaged, so my brakes are good. The last thing we're gonna check is the chain. And so the chain goes around all the moving parts of the wheel down here. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to back pedal with our foot so the chain moves backwards. And if it runs really smoothly and you don't see any clumps of mud or grass or anything else in the chain, your chain is good to go. So the last thing that we're also going to check on the bike for the quick check, there's something called a quick release. And the quick release on these bikes is on the seat. So when we quickly release, the quick release, I can open this up and I can adjust my seat. Okay, and it's important for safety and comfort to be able to raise your seat to the right height to be able to, again, ride safely and comfortable. So we stand next to our bike, we put our hands on our hip, and we find that hip bone, and what we're gonna do is raise the seat to just under our hands, like so. And then what I'm gonna do is make sure that the seat is facing forward. It's not to the side or off like that, but it's facing forward, and then I'm going to close the quick release.
Okay.
And that is the ABC quick check. And your bike should be the right height to ride.
Cool. Thank you. Air. Looks good. Right. We're going to that seems good. And C is change. We're going to move backward. Oops, that's forward. Looks good. Alright, and then this one. Probably right about. Alright, I think I'm good to go.
Helmet is on, our bike has been checked for safety, and we've raised the seat to the right height that we needed. But before we get on the road, there's just a few little tips about riding on the road or on trails that are universal for everybody. So the first thing is we are going to ride on the right side of the trail. So if we also put our bike on the road, we're going to ride on the right side of the road, just like a car would, okay? So we're going to go with the flow, ride right. The second tip is that we are going to obey all signs, signals, things like that. So when I come to a stop sign and I can read that stop sign, even on my bike, I have to pay attention and stop. So if my light turns red, I stop. If it's green, then I get to go. Third rule is we're going to signal all of our turns and stops. So there's just a few hand signals and they're pretty simple. We basically just point the direction we want to go when we're going to make a turn. And this is really important so that cars understand that we're possibly slowing or that we're, again, turning, and they don't try to make a maneuver that could create a crash. So for the right, when we're stopping, what we're going to do is we're going to take our left arm and we're going to put it out at a right angle with the hand pointing down. So this means that I'm slowing, I'm stopping, just a good indicator that I'm slowing or stopping here, okay? So whenever we're giving a signal, whether it's stopping or turning, we want to make sure that we do it ahead of that motion. So about 100 feet before I want to turn or before I want to stop, that's when I want to be motioning and communicating to the people around me what I'm doing, okay? The last part about the signaling is also scanning. So scanning means to turn your head and to be looking around. So it's a really great idea to make sure that you're aware of anybody who is behind you or going to pass you or to the road. We're going to ride on the right, we're going to obey the signs and signals, and we're going to use our hand signals and scan before we make turns or stops. Yay!
We accept the challenge! 30 days of BikeWalkKC!